right, in this video, we are going to practice troubleshooting beginning balances. The exercise is going to be over here on the right-hand side, and this is pulled from our basic level ProAdvisor certification course. If you would like more information about that course after we go through the exercise, be sure to click on the link below in the description. But let's see what our scenario will be for today. Craig received his most recent credit card statement and started to reconcile his account. When he went to the reconcile screen, however, he received an error message that said your account isn't ready to reconcile yet. Your beginning balance is off by negative $240.55. So, how did this happen and what can Craig do about it? Let's take a look at how we can help him. You will need to be in the sample company to do this exercise. Now, if you're not sure how to get into the sample company or get your own free QBOA account, be sure to click on the link below in the description. So let's get started with the exercise. This error happened because someone had made changes to transactions that had already been reconciled. To reproduce the error in the sample company, the first thing we need to do is reconcile. Before we can reconcile, however, we need to process some of the bank transactions. For the purposes of this exercise, we are only going to pay attention to the ones for Tanya's nursery. So to get to the banking center, from the left navigation bar, we need to hover over transactions and then select bank transactions. Here is the sample company. This is the dashboard. Over here is that left navigation bar. Hover over transactions and then select bank transactions. Now, I could have clicked on it right here as well since it is a bookmark, but if you are working on client books and they don't have that bookmarked for you, that is the way that we just did it is the way that you would get into it. Now, you will get this pop-up if it's your first time in this area. It's just a quick overview from QBO. We don't need to watch it right now, so go ahead and click out of that. We're going to click on the MasterCard tile since that is what we are reconciling. Here's the checking and the savings. I need to click the arrow to go over to the MasterCard. You may not need to, but you do want to click on this tile once you find it until it turns blue. That's how you know that all the transactions down below are in the MasterCard account. Now on the Tanya's nursery transaction in the action column, we're going to click match. So scroll down until you find her transaction. It is the last one listed here. Go ahead and click on matched. Now that we have processed the bank feeds, we're going to reconcile the account. So click on Go to Bank Register, which is right here. And then we're going to reconcile. If you got any pop-ups when you clicked into it, go ahead and click out of them. Again, QBO is just trying to be really helpful. So click on that reconcile button. And when you do, you'll get a couple of welcome screens. Again, this is from QuickBooks, just giving you an overview of what this area is for and what you would do in it. Once you have reconciled, you won't see this anymore, but the first time you will. So go ahead and click on Get Started. You'll get one more pop-up here. Go ahead and click on Let's Get Reconciled. Now, in the ending balance field, we're going to type $157.72. So go ahead and do that in that box. And then the ending date, we need to type a lowercase t to automatically enter today's date. So go ahead and click into it, type a lowercase t, and you'll get today's date. Now, normally you would enter the ending date that is on the bank statement, but the dates are always changing in the sample company, so we're just going to use today's date as the ending date for this. Yours will probably be different than what mine is right here, but just type that lowercase t and you'll get today's date pulled up. Now let's go ahead and start reconciling. Click on that green button. You will probably get some more pop-ups. If you get them, go ahead and just click out of them. QBO is just trying to be really helpful. All right, so in the far right column of the transaction grid, we're going to click on the circle at the top to select all transactions, then click select all on the pop-up. So normally when you are reconciling, you are going to be looking at what is on the bank statement, comparing what is here in QuickBooks and making sure that they match up. And when they match up, you would just click on the circle to clear it. Now, we are trying to recreate a problem right now, so we're not going through all of those steps, which is why we are selecting all of the transactions and then just using it as, clearing all of them to reconcile. So go ahead and click on that circle at the very top. It's going to ask if you're sure you want to select them all. Go ahead and say yes. And this happens to all match up. There is no difference, which is great. That's what you want as a bookkeeper when you are reconciling an account. So we are going to click on the Finish Now button right here. And then we're going to click on the green Done button from the pop-up. So now let's take a look at how reconciling affected the register. We're going to click Credit Card Register, which is right up here. Click on that blue wording. Even though we were just in this page, you're going to get more pop-ups, I'm sure. So just click out of them if you do get those. Now, the second column from the right indicates the reconciliation status of each transaction. I got to scroll down all the way so that I can scroll over. All right, so you see this one right here is the column that we're talking about. Those marked with an R, which is all of them right now, have been reconciled. And this column also indicates with a green box symbol that a transaction has been matched to a bank transaction. This is reflected in the Tanya's Nursery transaction that we matched in a previous step. Let me scroll down and show you what I mean. Here it is, that one for Tanya's Nursery that we had gone into the bank feeds and we had matched. That is what the indication is right there and what that means. All right, so now that we're set up, let's recreate the problem and error message that Craig saw. There are 3 ways to affect the reconciliation balance and cause the error. Change the R, which is right here, to something else. Change the amount of the reconciled transaction, the amount right here, or delete the reconciled transaction altogether. So let's do each of these to recreate Craig's problem. First, we're going to click on the one that's listed last here, expense 3 for Tanya's Nursery in the amount of $158.08. That is right down here at the bottom, expense 3. Here is that amount. We're going to click on the R to remove it. When you click on that box, you will see there is nothing there now. Go ahead and click on the green Save button. And after saving it, you're going to get this pop-up warning about editing the transaction that you've already reconciled. We are wanting to proceed with this because we are recreating the problem, so go ahead and click on the green Yes button. Now let's click on the next Tanya's Nursery one, expense 22 for the amount of $54.92. So scroll down until you find that one. Expense 22, $54.92. Go ahead and click on that to expand it and make it editable. And this time we are going to adjust the amount. Go ahead and click into that, delete it. So it's now going to be $54.90. And once you have made that adjustment right there, you can go ahead and click on Save. Once again, you're going to get this pop-up warning as you did before. And yes, we are recreating this problem. So yes, we do want to go ahead and move forward with it. Click on the green Yes button. Now that one has been saved. And now we have one last one for Tanya's Nursery, expense 50 in the amount of $82.45. This was the one that we had actually reconciled, that we had matched in the bank feeds. So this is the one that we want, expense 50, $82.45. Click into it. And this time we are going to delete it. So click on the delete button. Now, this time you're going to get 2 warnings. One, because you are deleting the transaction that is linked to a bank transaction, which is this one. Go ahead and click on Yes. And then the second one is because you are deleting a transaction that has been reconciled. So that's what those 2 pop-up warnings mean. Again, we are recreating the problem, so we want to click Yes to both of those. All right, now let's try to reconcile this account once again. Click on the green Reconcile button. And when you do, you will see now that there is that error message that Craig had received in the scenario that we read earlier. So luckily for you, you know what to do about fixing this. Go ahead and click on We Can Help You Fix It, which is the blue lettering within this error message. All right, so fixing the problem here. This is the reconciliation discrepancy report. And this shows you exactly which transactions were changed and how they were changed. 2 of them are very easy to fix, and the other one's going to take a little more work. So the first transaction was unreconciled in the register. This just means that someone removed the R, so we can easily put it back in. We're going to click on that first transaction on the list that's for $158.08 to expand it. So just click anywhere on that line to expand it. And now we're going to click in this empty reconciliation box. The first time you click it, go ahead, you will see a C, and this just means cleared. It's cleared through the bank, but it's not actually reconciled. If you click it again, you're going to get that R. That means that it's reconciled. It's matched what's in the bank statement to what is in QBO. That's what reconciled means. So this is all good to go. Go ahead and click on the green Save button. And you'll notice that once we do that, it has disappeared from this list because it has been fixed. Now, the second item, which is now the first one here, had the amount changed. And you can see what it was before right here, and then what it is right now. This is the reconciled amount, and then this is the current amount. So we can easily change this one back. Once again, just click on that transaction right there. And then in the amount field, we are going to change the total to $54.92. You could see there's that difference there as well that give you a little more information about what happened or what the difference is between this one and this one. Obviously, 2 cents is very easy to figure out, but if it was a big discrepancy, having that difference there is just nice to have that little extra information. Okay, so we have now changed the amount here back to the reconciled amount, so you can go ahead and click on the green Save button. And now we only have the final one left, and this is the deleted one. And it's a little bit trickier because now you have to add that back in. So let's go ahead and view the audit history of the transaction by clicking on View. That is this right here under History. Click on View. You're going to get another URL tab popped open for you. It doesn't show in the same one that we were just in, but it does show you every transaction or every change that was made in this transaction. Here it just says deleted, so you can see that. Now we are going to scroll to the bottom of the list and make note of the date of the original transaction. So if you scroll to the bottom, you can see your date right here is the date of that transaction. Not this up here. This is the information of what when this was made. This is the actual transaction date that we are looking for right here. So here we say your date may be different than what you see in the remainder of the exercise, and that's okay. Whenever you're doing this, it's going to be different because the sample company is always changing their dates. But you'll note that the date on the transaction history on the right here is not the date of the original transaction, which is here. So make note of whatever date this is so that you can use it later on in the exercise, because now we need to re-enter that deleted transaction. We're going to leave the audit history URL tab open, which is this one. Return to the original URL tab and click X on the top right corner so that we can close out the reconciliation discrepancy report. So leave this tab open. We're going back to this one where we have the discrepancy report. Go ahead and click on that X on the top corner to exit out of it. And now let's recreate that expense that was deleted. We're going to click the plus new button and then select expense. The plus new button is up here. Click on that and then under vendors, select expense. Now, using the information from the audit history URL tab, we're going to recreate the expense. Remember, we are using the MasterCard account, and make sure that you are using the date from the audit history, not the date that is shown in this exercise. So whatever you saw right here is the one that you need to put right here in this payment date. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Change it to the payment date to whatever this date is right here on your screen. Couple more things that we need to adjust. First of all, we need to put in Tanya's nursery right here. So click into the payee field. You can either start typing or you can scroll down until you get to Tanya's nursery. Go ahead and click on her name. It's going to ask maybe if you want to pre-fill it and overwrite your entries. I'm using the values. We're going to go ahead and click no for this because if you get that pop-up, you may not. But if you do get that pop-up, say no because we're just going to fill in the information that is showing up here. All right, so we have Tanya's Nursery. We have the payment account as MasterCard, which is perfect. And then the last thing that we need to do is actually fill out this information here. So let's see what the transaction was for. It's for job expenses, job materials, plants, and soil. So let's go ahead and find that. Click into this category right here to get the plants and soil. This is, remember, there's a plants and soil, I believe, that are two. There's an income one and an expense one. Make sure you are doing an expense one that's under expenses, under job materials, plants, and soil. That is what is showing right here. And the amount is $82.45. So click into the amount box, type $82.45. When you click out of that, you will see that it has been adjusted right here by QBO and updated it. So everything looks good. Now let's just go ahead and click on Save and Close. And now that expense has been saved and recreated. So when you deleted the transaction, it unmatched from the bank feed. So we need to go ahead back to that and match it again. We're going to click on the Bank Transactions tab, which is right here. Once you click on that, you should already be on the MasterCard tile. If not, make sure that you click on it so that it turns blue. And if you scroll down, you will see now that Tanya's Nursery has that one match found because we've just recreated that expense. And so now it is finding that match. So this time we're going to go ahead and click on match, just like we did at the very beginning. Now let's go back to the bank register and see how that looks. And we've already been in this page, but if you get more pop-ups, go ahead and click out of those. Now you'll notice that the reconciliation status is now a C for this transaction. If I scroll down, I need to move over a little bit. There we go. Here is that transaction that we just matched in the bank feed. It is showing as a C, and that's because when you matched it in the bank feed, it became cleared. So just change this to an R for reconciled because we've already reconciled it. So you already know how to do this. Let's click on the transaction itself. Click in this box to change it to an R, and then we're going to click Save. So click on that Save button. You're going to get some pop-ups here just asking if you're sure you want to do this, and the answer is yes, so click on that. You're going to get another one here asking if you're sure. Go ahead and click on that once again. Now let's go back to that reconcile screen. Click on reconcile on the top right corner of your screen, and you will see that there is no more error. So congratulations, you did a great job of troubleshooting the beginning balance. Now, as one note here, you could choose not to change the reconciliation status directly in the register like we just did. If you had not changed it there, then when we got to this reconcile screen, you would have still seen that error. I don't know if you noticed it after we had added that expense in there, the error was still there, but it had the amount that 82.45 as saying that that was what the error was. So if you didn't do it the way that we just did, where we reconciled it from that bank register, you would come back here, you'd still see that same error, just a different amount. You would do the same things before, where you would click on the we can help you fix it link like you did before to get the reconciliation discrepancy report. And then you would just change the reconciliation status directly from that report, just like we did earlier on in the exercise. That's it. That is how you would troubleshoot some beginning balances. Now, if you liked this exercise and you would like to do more like this or learn more about that basic level ProAdvisor certification course, be sure to click on the link below in the description, and I'll see you in the next exercise.